Okay, so before we start this lesson, if you are reading this after the class, if you are listening to this after the class, please watch the video before this, the crash course in psychology. All right, so intelligence, it is indeed an intriguing topic. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, what is intelligence? According to the dictionary, the definition is the ability to learn from experience, solve problems, and use knowledge to adapt to new experiences. So in short, these people are fast learners, they adapt quickly, and they are actually quick thinkers, fast learners. All right. So in this video, the video previously, there are actually three schools of thoughts about intelligence. And it was this first school of thought is actually G factor, which was first introduced by Spearman. Spearman is a psychologist. So before we start, actually intelligence is being studied in the field of psychology. So Spearman, he claims that if a person scores well in one cognitive test, he will also then score well in other cognitive tests. In short, it means that you are an all-rounder, meaning if you can do maths, you can also do English, you can also do history, you can also do physics. That means you can do everything. So this is let's give a very simple example. This is for people like our friends in school who are actually top scorers. Okay, so if you're good at something, chances are you will be good at everything as well. So the top scorer, even though he doesn't really put a lot of effort in studying and in learning, however, he will still end up with a lot of A's. So that is what we call G factor. All right, and there are also people in school that we know that they are actually very hardworking. They put in a lot of effort, but they will never be on par with those who those top students who just put a little bit of effort and they can actually score very well. So that's why Spearman thinks that the G factor exists. So meaning if you are smart in something, you're smart in everything. If that smart person is probably not smart in maths, uh, probably the chances are it's not that he can't do maths, it's just that he doesn't like it, so it's personal preferences. So that means the smart person is still able to do it, just that he dislike it, so he doesn't do it, and he just doesn't want to learn to actually get to know it, right? So this is the G factor. Next is multiple intelligence. So Howard Gardner is a psychologist, and he thinks that the conventional intelligence is just too limited to actually account for learners in talents and intelligence. So he came up with 8 different types of intelligence, which is linguistic. Linguistic means language. Mathematical, that means mathematics. Bodily kinesthetic would be people like people who like to play sports, people who like to dance, people who can actually do a lot of things with their body. And then naturalists will be environmentally something like that. They like the nature and all that. Uh, and then musical, yeah, people who plays the piano, compose music. So you can think about Ed Sheeran and all that. They have musical intelligence. Also, the next one is intrapersonal. Intrapersonal means a person who really knows himself very well. Okay, and interpersonal, people with very good social skills, and spatial intelligence will be people who can draw very well, like architects and all that. They are very good in terms of spatial, in terms of space. You know, that these are the 8 types of intelligence that Howard Gardner has proposed. The last school of thought is actually eugenics. It was coined by Galton, and it claims that intelligence is actually inherited. Okay, so over the past decades, there were a lot of research, and it was hotly debated whether it's genetics or not. So many people, many researchers have actually come up with studies, and based on my research, a lot of researchers have actually studied that and concluded that intelligence is indeed hereditary, and it comes from the X chromosome, so meaning it comes from the mother. All right, so intelligence is in fact 60% genetics and 40% experience. So however, if you go online and you search, there will be articles that oppose to this theory, and this is still it's an ongoing research, so to speak. Okay, because they do not yet know whether or not it is 100% genetics or whether or not genetics has got a role play in it. However, there are some that has concluded, and like I said, it's still a very controversial topic. And however, this school of thought was actually supported by Hitler, Adolf Hitler, the Nazis, the Germans. They are actually Aryan race. Okay, Germans are Aryan race, so are people from North India, the Punjabis and all that. They are Aryan race. Aryans are actually very very smart. They are a very smart race. Okay, they are among the first people who have invented the calendar. Okay, so Hitler's ambition was to create this super race. So he wants to eliminate all types of feeble-mindedness. Feeble-mindedness meaning people who are stupid and other undesirable characteristics. So what happened during World War II was Hitler actually sterilized many people. For example, he despised people who are gays, lesbians, who are retarded, gypsies, those minorities. So he despised all of these people, and he really hated the Jews, so he actually murdered a lot of them during that time. Sterilization means he actually injects a type of medicine into women's womb so that they cannot give birth. Hence, that he can exterminate that particular race. Okay, so now that you have known all three school of thoughts, let's look at the average IQ of people around the world.